Hi, and welcome to How Humans Heal. I'm Dr. Donnie Wilson, and if you're joining me for the first time, I welcome you to join us here at How Humans Heal. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about what to do if and when you receive abnormal pap smear results. That's because so many women contact me and reach out saying, I just got back my pap smear results and it's saying abnormal, it's showing HPV detected. And now I'm in such a state of fear and confusion and anxiety and stress about these pap smear results. What do I do? Because oftentimes your doctor may not explain to you what the results mean or what your options are. So I'm hoping you're finding this video and that it can allow you to take a breath and to start to make a plan of action for addressing the abnormal pap smear and getting your body back to fully healthy and prevent the abnormal pap smear from coming back again. Okay, so the first thing I always recommend is that you contact your doctor's office and ask them for a copy of your pap smear report if they didn't already send it to you. I really believe that it's important for you to have your report in your hands and for you to understand what it means. This way, you can really be proactive. You can be your own best health advocate by understanding what the results mean and what your options are, and you can track your case over time. So the first thing is put it on your to-do list to contact your doctor's office and ask them for a copy of your pap smear report. And if you've had a colposcopy, ask for that as well. And you can also, if you have access to the doctor who you saw for your prior pap smear, you might want to even call them and get your most recent pap results so you can compare them, right? We want to be able to look for patterns and understand what's been happening here and how do we start to help you get ahead of it and start to be proactive and preventative. So the other thing that's really important is to know some essentials about HPV, because I think a lot of the fear and confusion comes from just not knowing and scouring the internet and social media looking for answers that may or may not be really true and really helpful. So I'm going to break down a few of the facts that I find to be really helpful for just you being able to navigate having an abnormal pap smear and to be able to calm your nervous system. Okay, so please again join me in taking a deep breath and going, okay, you can take notes. This information is going to be there. And at the end of this video, I'm going to be sharing with you how you can get even more information and help from me on this journey of taking your body back from HPV, not allowing HPV to cause abnormal cells or cause stress and anxiety for you. Okay. So the first thing to know is that as humans, we are most all exposed to HPV by age 50. That means it doesn't matter your age, how many relationships you've been in, whether you're married or not. None of that matters because the fact is that most all of us are exposed. We are exposed to particularly the high risk forms of HPV through sexual contact. And so that's how it's transferred. But I want you to keep in mind that there are over 150 different types of HPV. Some of them are low risk and associated with things like warts on your hands or genital warts. Those are the low risk types of HPV. When we say high risk type of HPV, we're referring to just the types that have been associated with cancer risk. And that's why we call them high risk, is because they have that potential to cause abnormal cells. Now, when you're getting a pap smear, we're looking for high risk HPV in the vagina. But it's true that HPV, high risk HPV, can affect other areas of the body as well, not just the vagina, but they can also affect the anal area, the oral area. And yes, high risk HPV affects men as well, including they have risk of penile cancer from HPV. So this virus tends to affect certain areas of the human body. And one for women is the vagina and especially the cervix. The HPV virus tends to go right after the cells of the cervix, and it starts irritating them. It starts causing inflammation, and then it can cause abnormal cells. And that's why you're doing a pap smear to begin with, is to find out, are the cells on your cervix looking inflamed or abnormal even before they might turn into cancer? Because we'd much rather catch it early so that we can address it before it turns into cervical cancer. Imagine how many women before pap smears existed were finding out they had cervical cancer and they never even knew why, or that they didn't even have a chance to do anything about it. So that's why I feel so passionate about helping you understand why you're doing a pap smear, because you want to know, do I have high-risk HPV? Is it causing abnormal cells? So I can do something about it before it turns into cancer. And if for some of you listening, maybe you've already had abnormal cells and potentially have even already had cervical cancer, and still the HPV virus is present and repeatedly causes abnormal cells. So that's why it's important to, no matter where you are in that history or in those scenarios, it's important to address the virus and stop it from causing abnormal cells now or again and into the future. Okay, so when we're looking for high-risk types, the two we most often look for is type 16 and 18, but your pap smear results might say other types of HPV, and that's fine, because in the work that I do, we're going to be able to address all the different kinds of HPV, low risk, high risk. So the exact number or type is less concerning to me, because my treatment protocol is the same for all the types, and it works on all the types, all ages, and even if you had it for many years. But when you look at your pap smear results, we're really looking for two pieces of information. Okay, so this is what I really want to help you understand. When you get those pap smear results in front of you, you're looking for two pieces of information. One, does it say HPV positive? Because if it's HPV positive, then we know we're dealing with a high-risk type of HPV, and we need to get a strategy in place to clear that HPV, get it to negative and stay negative. The second piece of information is, are there abnormal cells? Because you could have high-risk HPV and maybe it hasn't caused abnormal cells or inflammation. Great, because that means we can just focus on getting rid of the virus and before it has a chance to cause any trouble. But if HPV is positive and there are some abnormal cells, we need to deal with both. We need to deal with the abnormal cells, and that's possible, and I'm going to talk you through that. And we need to deal with the HPV. When you go to the doctor's office, they're all often only focused on the abnormal cells, which is important because we want to get rid of those abnormal cells. They don't have a treatment to address the virus. That's why they're not giving you anything or talking about it. They don't have a way to address the HPV virus. So many times what women experience is the doctor says, oh, there's abnormal cells. Let's do a LEEP procedure, which is a procedure to remove the abnormal cells. Or let's do a conization, or let's even do a hysterectomy. We're going to remove the abnormal cells. But they never do anything about the virus. And so what can unfortunately happen is the virus can cause abnormal cells again and again and again. I even just spoke to a woman today who had abnormal cells multiple times, multiple LEEP procedures, had a hysterectomy last year, and called me because the abnormal cells the virus is now affecting her vaginal cells. The virus doesn't give up easily. And so we need to be, she's calling me because I'm going to help her get that virus to stop causing abnormal cells, which is not what the doctor's office doesn't have a way to do that. All they can do is remove abnormal cells or remove body parts, okay? Or they can treat cancer if it turns into cancer. My goal is to prevent it from turning into cancer, put a stop to this virus. Did you recently get an abnormal pap smear result and test positive for HPV? Then I'm glad to connect with you. I'm a naturopathic doctor and midwife, and I specialize in helping women to address abnormal pap smears and get HPV to negative. And I would love to invite you to join me for a free online workshop. It's going to be a 1-day, 2.5-hour workshop. I'd love for you to come, and this way I can teach you what your pap results mean and what are the steps you can take to help heal your cervix and get rid of HPV instead of just wait and see if it gets worse. So I look forward to seeing you at the workshop. So how are we going to do that, right? How can we help heal your cervix and get rid of the virus? In terms of addressing inflammation, so let me talk you through when there's abnormal cells on the cervix, it happens in a gradient or a spectrum. It doesn't just go from negative to cancer. It goes from negative abnormal cells, like normal healthy cells, to inflamed cells. They look inflamed, caused by the virus, and then they look mildly abnormal, then moderately abnormal, then severely abnormal before it turns into cancer. So again, when you go to get a pap smear, or if they want to do the doctors, if they think there may be abnormal cells, they'll recommend a biopsy called a colposcopy and biopsy, where they can take a closer look at the cells. And they're looking to see, is it mild, or what's referred to as CIN1? Is it moderate, which is CIN2, or severe, which is CIN3? And this, if it's CIN2 or 3, the doctor's going to recommend that they need to do a procedure to remove the abnormal cells, likely a LEEP procedure or conization or other type of surgery to remove the abnormal cells. I have another video here in How Humans Heal where I talk about how an alternative that I use and help women to use for CIN2 and 3. So if your report is saying CIN2 or 3 and you would like to consider an alternative to LEEP or other procedure, then definitely I'll put a link to that video so you can listen in on a treatment called escharotic treatments, which is a herbal nutrient approach that helps remove the abnormal cells without damaging your cervix. And I see a lot of women who are wanting to have a future pregnancy, or they just don't want to have a surgery. And we do escharotic treatments to remove the abnormal cells and protect and preserve their healthy body, their healthy cervix for pregnancy or for just for future. Okay, so that's for CIN2 and 3. If it's inflammation or mild CIN1, that can resolve without having to do a procedure. I recommend using herbal nutrient vaginal suppositories in a protocol that I've created, because I see over and over again when women address, and this works for vaginal abnormal cells too. If it's abnormal, mildly abnormal on the vagina or the cervix, the vaginal suppositories will help the cervix to slough those abnormal cells and grow new healthy cells. That's the thing. The body can grow new healthy cells when we're giving it the right tools and information. So how are we going to make sure your body knows how to grow new healthy cells? We need to then go into my comprehensive protocol. And in that comprehensive protocol, what we're doing is we're answering those questions. We're saying, what is making you susceptible to this HPV virus at this moment in your life? Because it's quite likely you were exposed earlier in your life and it didn't cause any issues. But at this point in your life, there's likely something making you susceptible that's allowing the virus to be positive and allowing the virus to cause abnormal cells. And we need to address those things. We need to understand what's making you vulnerable and give your body additional clinical nutrition, clinical herbal medicine, homeopathy, and support so that your body can grow new healthy cells and clear the virus. And I see women doing this every day, every week, all the time for more than 20 years, because this is what I've been specializing in as a naturopathic doctor and midwife. So I'm so fortunate to have been able to not only help these women, but to observe what's possible, the healing that's possible. And I want that for all of you as well. So please know that it's possible to address abnormal cells before they go to cancer without causing damage to your cervix. And it's possible to clear the HPV virus by understanding what's making you susceptible. Again, I have additional videos here that you can listen to go into more detail about how I guide you to do that. The other thing I encourage you to do is to go right away from here and listen to my HPV masterclass. This is a hour-long video class that you can put the link. You as soon as you go there, it's immediately going to show you the video, so you can see it right away. And this way, you're going to keep on learning. Right now, you've started to learn about this. If we're going to have success with you being able to clear this virus and protect your body from it, I need you to understand that virus, right? If anything in life, if we're going to be successful addressing it, we need to understand it first, and we need to make a plan. And it's better to make a plan with an expert with experience than to try to do it on your own. Because when you're trying to do this on your own, it gets very confusing, and you're already in a state of confusion and stress about this. And if you just search out there on the internet, you're going to come across some good information, some not good information, but I can tell you it's not going to be comprehensive. And so that's where I really encourage you to click on this link, listen to my HPV masterclass, and come to my next live Heal HPV workshop, because then you're going to have the information and the knowledge to take the next steps, to know what can you do next. And then you can learn about the programs that I offer, either in person, but I can teach you wherever you are in the world. So please don't let time or location or any of that stop you, because this information and resources are available through my website, where you can start learning, and then you can decide if you want to start implementing my protocol that I've seen help thousands of women already. And I want that for you, because you deserve to have that help. And I know that it doesn't exist yet in the standard medical system. I hope to train more and more practitioners so that we can transform the medical system related to helping women with risk for cervical cancer and HPV related cancer. So that's part of my intention of being here, to say, for all of us to stand up and say, enough is enough. Women are at risk of cancer and not getting enough help to prevent it. And so that's why I'm here providing this information. And I look forward to having you reach out to me if you would like more help in this way, to say, I don't want to leave myself at risk for HPV related cancer. I want this virus out of my body. I don't want to just wait and see if it's going to go away, because the fact is that the human body can clear this virus. And so some women the doctor will say, come back in 6 months or 12 months. And so you're waiting to see if it gets worse. But unfortunately, I see the cases where it didn't go away, where women were waiting for a year or 2 years or 3 years or longer, and the virus didn't go away. In fact, it starts causing worse abnormal cells. And then women are so distraught and so disappointed and so angry that they wish they would have done something sooner. So I really want you to know that you don't have to wait for it to get worse. You don't have to wait and worry and have sleepless nights. We can actually start taking steps right away, making diet changes, using nutrients, using herbs, using natural substances that actually end up helping your whole health, because we are balancing hormones, we're balancing the microbiome, we're re-optimizing your immune system and your nutrient levels so that your body is superpowered and ready to protect you from this virus that it knows how to protect you from. But when your body's depleted and worn out, it's not able to protect you. And that's why HPV takes advantage of that situation. The HPV virus takes advantage when we're depleted and worn out from stress and life. And it knows that. And it's right when HPV comes in and starts causing inflammation in abnormal cells, because that's right when your body isn't able to protect you. So this is your chance to say, I'm taking my body back. I'm becoming my own priority, and I'm going to start implementing changes so that this virus doesn't have a chance to cause abnormal cells, because that's what I see. I see that when women take this as an opportunity to pivot, to create change for themselves, for their life, for their future, that's exactly when they are successful at clearing this virus, and it doesn't come back again. Those those cases, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years can go by and the virus doesn't come back, because we're actually teaching your body and helping you create a way of taking care of yourself that makes sure that this virus doesn't have an opportunity to come back again. So thanks for listening in, and please join me for an additional resources that I link to below, and reach out to me and my team if you would like more help. We're here to help you. Thanks for joining me again at How Humans Heal. If you are not already subscribed to the podcast, I encourage you to click the subscribe button and leave me a comment or review. I would love to hear from you. We always love to hear what you're thinking and what you would love to learn more about. So thanks again for joining me. I'll see you in the next episode of How Humans Heal.
Thanks for listening to How Humans Heal. If you liked this episode, leave a rating and a review. And for more resources, visit drdonnie.com.